The D1NZ D1NZ, brought to you by TBC Performance Wheels, The Rock FM, Link ECU, High Tech Oils and Club Auto Insurance.
Welcome to the show. It's round 5 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series, Mike Pero Motorsport Park, Ruapuna Raceway, and it was a bumper crowd in-house to see all the action.
Well, a new track layout for the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship round number 5, the only South Island round for the season.
Yeah, the penultimate round, the Royal Rumble. It's the battle for the championship unfolding as well, and it's a brand new 3rd and 4th gear section. It's tight and technical, and the first corner is where it's all going to go down. But first, it's pit walk time with Steve, and we catch up with some of the drivers thanks to Link ECU.
These guys here have travelled the furthest, all the way from somewhere up north. Where do you live?
Pai here.
Where's that?
Right up in the far north. It was a mission, yeah. We done one day to Fielding, and then the next morning all the way, caught the ferry, Picton, and then down to Christchurch in one day. So 2-day trip really, yeah.
Of course, Fanga had to have a battle with Tauranga local Cole Armstrong.
It was a pretty dusty run from both of us. It's really down to that first corner, like, you know, him sending it up for me and me sending it up for him. And as I watched a lot of the other battles, it was it's really technical, And so yeah, looking forward to some more battle time.
Everyone needs a pink hat. Dave Steedman, mate, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
And how are you enjoying your time here at round number 5?
Oh yeah, I mean, look at this weather. It's beautiful. Plenty of smoke going on, so that's what we like.
How's it going out there with the rotary? I mean, I've heard other people say that there's got no power at all, but it seems like you're not too bad.
Yeah, just got to get the driver right, ain't it? It's
How's the weekend going for you?
A bit of a rough weekend for us, but we've still got one car going, so that's the main thing.
Unfortunately, the V8 had its day this weekend. It's not playing ball for the first time in a while, but I guess every engine's going to have its weak point.
Kurt, second in qualifying yesterday?
Oh yeah, just didn't quite pull a real nice run together. Wasn't very happy with it at all, but put us in second place. We were definitely doing a lot better throughout the practice.
See this guy here, look at that, the smile.
Got to be smiling. We got to smile here when we're at drifting. Nah, really enjoying it. The track's awesome. Yeah, super fast at the start and then slows up, so it's suiting my car down to a T. So just got to hold it together.
I'm loving the suit, mate. It's looking good.
Yeah, it's brand new. ProWear supplied it. Just new this round, so
excellent.
Yeah,
and check it over here, right in there. I mean, you're looking after even the series.
Oh, of course, that's something we got to do. So no, it's good. Looks good, I reckon.
Has the bro been helping you out with everything this weekend? Because it looks like the car's still pretty quick, looking good out there.
Yeah, no, he's been really good. Having it, not running a Pro-Am this year, so or Pro-Am here, Pro 2 here. He's been giving me a hand. All the crew have been really good. We've had a few issues over the weekend, but managed to sort it out.
Mate, top qualifier yesterday.
Yeah, it was a good day out in the office, and I was just really happy to back up in qualifying what we've done in practice all day. So that's a bit of a first for me. Normally we fail to impress, so yeah, that was good.
Hey, how do you make a BMW reliable?
Put a 2J in it.
Exactly, hear that? You put a 2J in it, Dana Templeman. To the Pack and Save S15. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's come a long way. Oh, since the S13 anyway, but now we're really happy with it. Just a few fine touches to do for, I guess, in the off-season, and then we'll be, good to go.
Nico, mate, it's a great place to be.
Yeah, it's a great day here. Car's going great, track layout, couldn't have asked for better weather, and can't wait to get into those battles.
Check out the gun show over here. Go on, just check those out. Just found an Australian. How are you, mate?
How you going, mate?
So, and what's happening out there with you guys? I mean, it's great to have the Australians in there.
Yeah, no, it's killer to be here. We dream come true to come out here and represent Australia, and also enter D1. I love throwing down these guys. They're all awesome drivers, killer cars out here. So top 16, see how we go. Hopefully we can get up to the podium and fly that Aussie flag high.
It's definitely a step up from what we're used to back at home. There's the crowd, the drivers, the style of the cars, the engineering of the cars. So yeah, I'm loving it over here. If we could leave our cars here, I'd probably consider leaving them here.
So look, Pukekohe, we've got that one there, 200 plus K entry.
Love it, can't wait.
All right, thank you very much for watching the SCM Pit Walks, brought to you by Link ECU, here at round number 5 of the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship at Mike Pero Motorsport Park here in Christchurch. It's time to head back upstairs. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Cheers, Steve. Well, it's more drifting coming up right after the break. Stick around. Welcome back to the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. It's top 16 time here, round 5 of the championship. And who have we got, Steve?
On the left-hand side of the tree, we've got Brad Smith against Stewie Baker, Daniel Woolhouse versus Shane Giles. Bruce Tannock goes up against Nico Reid, and Dave Steedman versus Darren Kelly.
On the flip side, we've got Kurt Whitaker and Joe Marshall, Danum Templeman and Tom Marshall, Australian Scott Shembry up against Troy Jenkins, and Joel Counter, Drift South champion, up against Ben Wilkinson.
Well, it's the first battle of the top 16. We've got Brad Smith leading the way in the BSR 350Z versus Stewie Baker, the privateer, in the little S13, throwing the dust up already.
Yeah, Stewie Baker getting it wrong. It's that first corner that we're talking about. Brand new track layout here at Mike Perra Motorsport Park. None of these drivers have really done much here, but Stewie Baker, you see in the background, spinning again. So this hands a big advantage to Brad Smith, and he takes victory in through to the top 8.
We got Shane Giles in the Beitels Online, A1 Homes S14 versus Fanger Dan Woolhouse.
Highlights action here if you're just wondering for the top 16. Shane Giles leading out front bar, missing off that car. Fanger Dan really looking to close in on that rear quarter. The big Century Batteries Holden Commodore up against that Toyota 2JZ powered Beitels Online S14. It would be Fanger Dan going through with the win after going OMT.
Well, he's done it 3 rounds in a row. The Evergreen Tyres S15 takes a hit from Bruce Tannock in the little S13.
Yeah, Bruce Tannock, the Achilles Radio S13, going in hard on the Evergreen Tyres S15. We'll take a look at the High-Tech Oils replay. You'll see there a little bump and run there for Nico Reid, just fending off the Achilles Radio S13, and he went through the victory into the top 8.
We've got the current Drift King Darren Kelly in chase behind Dave Steedman in the S14.
Dave Steedman leading out the Mimico machine, and of course the High-Tech Oils R34. Darren Kelly, though, looking to improve his results after a shocker season, and he eventually came through with the win, taking victory through to the top 8.
So Kurt Whitaker in the Autosure R34 Skyline chasing down the Evergreen Tyres 180SX of Joe Marshall.
Kurt Whitaker in with a championship hunt here. He wants to peg back Nico Reid. Nico Reid obviously getting a little bit of advantage coming into round 5. So Kurt Whitaker knows he's got a lot to do here in the battles, and he eventually took victory over the turbo, the V8 going through the win into the top 8.
Next battle, we'll see the NAC Insurance E46 BMW with the big 2J power going up against Tom Marshall.
Tom Marshall in the Evergreen Tyres S15 running that 2.5 litre RB25. It's not the normal engine he campaigns with. They've obviously had that drama at Taupo with his RB30. He's put the spare motor in to get to Ruapuna, but the advantage there in the first pass to Danum Templeman in that big 2JZ. Second pass now, Danum Templeman's got to prove himself in the chase run here. Tom Marshall probably got a little bit less car speed than that 2JZ E46 BMW, and you see here Danum closing back up on that rear quarter. This is championship drama 2 on track right now, because Danum Templeman wants to grab another handful of points. He's also in the mix with Nico Reid and Kurt Whitaker for that main title. He takes victory through to the top 8.
We see one of our visiting Australian drivers for the first time, Scott Shembry versus Troy Jenkins in the Brian Roberts Towing S15.
Yeah, Troy Jenkins had an easy pass in the top 32. Drew Donovan out with mechanical dramas, but right there you'll see him spare off into the dirt. It's game over for Troy Jenkins, and the Australian international Scott Shembry, Blaze Unit 180SX, taking victory.
Ben Wilkinson this time with the pack and safe S15, getting chased down by Joel Counter, the Achilles Radials Nissan S14 of Counter, the only South Island driver in the top 16.
Yeah, that's right. Issues for McMillan and, of course, Filthy Phil Sutherland. But Joel Counter waving the Drift South flag. Of course, he's a former Drift South champ. And he actually came through with the victory here in the second run. So Joel Counter going through to the top 8. And we check out the battle tree up on screen.
On the left-hand side of the screen, we see Brad Smith versus Daniel Woolhouse, Nico Reid versus Darren Kelly.
On the flip side, we've got Kurt Whitaker and Danum Templeman championship battle. And then we've got Australian Scott Shembry up against Drift South champ Joel Counter.
Moving straight into the top 8, and it's the pole sitter, Brad Smith in the BSR 350Z. He's got Fanger Dan Woolhouse in the Century Batteries, V Holden Commodore. Oh, just getting a window full of dust, fed off the back end. Fanger Dan sitting there.
Fanger Dan lost in a dust storm. Brad Smith just straight lining the section. Now the judges might want to be looking at the replay of this because Brad Smith may have led Fanger off potentially, but we'll take a look at Fanger Dan. It's
look at that car.
It's just covered in dust, and of course, well, after a half-hour cleanup, they were back out on track for the second pass. Now this was an OMT battle. Fanger Dan leading out Brad Smith. Supercharged VQ38 up against the V8. Can Brad Smith claw back some points out of this?
Or can Fanger Dan with a huge correction coming into the section?
Yeah, Brad Smith also was struggling earlier on, but seems to dial things back together. So perhaps the judges want to see these two go again after the dust drama. The battle already went OMT, so now it's sudden death time, Steve. It's sudden death, the last 2 laps. Who's it going to be? Fanger Dan already putting the wheel off in the dirt.
Yeah, Fanger's sitting in a have to close up on... Oh, issues for Fanger Dan and the Century Batteries v Holden Commodore.
Oh, perhaps mechanical drama, driveline issue perhaps for Fanger Dan. Brad Smith, though, 10-0 advantage right now, and there's 1 lap left to go. What's going to happen with Fanger Dan? Well, he went back to the pits, and driveline issues indeed.
Fanger Dan calling for his 5 minutes to allow himself to get the car fixed. Drivers pouring all over the car, teams as well.
Yeah, great camaraderie from pit lane, all chipping in to help Fanger Dan out. Of course, it's a 5-minute call. You only got 5 minutes to fix the car, and it was a sudden death matchup. So good effort from the pit crews to try get that car back out there. But unfortunately, it was Brad Smith going through with the victory.
Well, our points leader in the D1NZ series, Nico Reid in the Evergreen Tyres S15, chasing down our current drift king, Darren Kelly, in the high-tech oils R34 Skyline.
RB30 up against that RB25. Nico Reid closing up on that rear quarter. Second pass now. Oh, there's drama in the background. That first corner again, there's a lot of technical input to get that corner right, and it's a very hard thing to do in the chase. Darren Kelly, another shock around, being knocked out by our current series points leader, as you say, Steve. You can see a little bit of damage there being carried by the Evergreen Tyres S15. Nico Reid, can he go 4 round wins in a row? He's got 3 in the bag. We'll take a look at the high-tech oils replay, but Nico through to the top 4.
Huge advantage for Nico Reid for the points for the D1NZ Pro Series.
Well, another points grab in the bag, and talking about championship drama on track, here is more of it. Championship title fight happening out here as well, because Kurt Whittaker and Tatum Templeman want a piece of the pie, and Tatum Templeman putting wheels off in the dirt. It's 2JZ versus V8. Can former champ Kurt Whittaker get another title under his belt, or will the former circuit racer try get his first taste of championship victory?
Well, issues on the start for Tatum Templeman as we see the replay. Huge dust storm as he throws it up out of the left-hand side of the car.
Kurt Whittaker out in front, unfazed by it all. They do have radio comms in through their helmets. Maybe he knows he's got a bit of an advantage, but he's not holding back here. He knows there's a win on the horizon potentially. Can he get through to the semi-finals, or will Tatum Templeman push through to the semi-finals? Who's it going to be?
Well, Tatum Templeman throws it into the dipper. Massive transition into the right-hander. Mr. Perfecto right on his back bumper.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call advantage to Kurt Whittaker again in the Autoshore R34 Skyline. He grabs the win through to the semi-finals.
Well, it's Australian Scott Shembry in the Blaze Unit 180 versus... Oh, big issues for that Blaze Unit car. Throws it across the grass. Joel Counter is going to go through for the mainland.
Yeah, advantage Joel Counter. V8 versus Turbo again. The V8's looking pretty strong so far. The Achilles Radial S14, former Drift South champion, waving that South Island flag high. But Scott Shembry, the Australian international, just sparing off into the dirt. We'll take a look at the high-tech oils replay, and there it is. It's a pretty simple one, 10-0 score. And Shembry being knocked out early. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to the D1NZ National Drifting Championship Round 5 from Mike Perry Motorsport Park in Christchurch.
It's top 4 times, semi-finals, brand new track layout. It's all boiled down to this. Who have we got, Steve?
We've got Brad Smith versus Nico Reid, but first it's Kurt Whittaker versus Joel Counter, the mainland hope. Counter getting right underneath the R34 Skyline of Kurt Whittaker.
The Autoshore machine leading out the Achilles Radial S14, semi-final number 1. Can Joel Counter get into his first ever D1NZ final? Or will Kurt Whittaker push through and really just heat things up in terms of the championship fight? First pass done and dusted.
See the second pass with Joel Counter leading Whittaker. Counter, can he do it for the South Island? Throws up the dirt. It's going to see his points deduct.
Yeah, Kurt Whittaker, perhaps with a little wisp of dirt there too, but I think he's got a big advantage from that first lap. Fantastic effort from Joel Counter though as they come through the dipper. Here they come through this fantastic switch. They stack on the angle, up on the camber. Fantastic track here at Mike Perry Motorsport Park, but Kurt Whittaker is going to hold the advantage there and take victory through to the final.
As we ride on board for the second battle, it's the BSR 350Z of Brad Smith versus Nico Reid in the Evergreen Tyres S15.
Yeah, pole sitter Brad Smith taking a win over Fanga Dan. A little bit of a correction out in front. Fantastic onboard action here. Nico Reid trying to close up on that rear quarter. You can just see the smoke coming through the driver's window.
Nico Reid, he's won 3 rounds in a row. Can he make it 4 here in Christchurch?
Yeah, can he rewrite the history books? He's already become a people's champs of sorts, taking 3-round wins in a row. We'll see the High-Tech Oils replay there. Fantastic onboard shot. But really, in terms of the championship, Nico had that points penalty applied at round 3. He really needed to take these round wins to claw all those points back, and he's done it. He's leading the series. Can he push through and take 4 wins in a row? Can Brad Smith peg him back?
Well, Brad Smith, the top qualifier. Nico Reid, he's the points leader. Nico having a fantastic weekend here at Mike Perry Motorsport Park. Throws it into the dipper, runs the outside line, gets up on the curb. Nico Reid's going to be a happy man after that battle.
Yeah, Nico Reid going through with the victory, hand out the window. Bumper crowd in force here, watching on. High-Tech Oils replaying. This is where it all went wrong for Brad Smith. Tried to close it all back up, but a little bit of a correction coming through that big double apex. Couldn't pull it together. Nico Reid through to the final up against Kurt Whittaker.
But first, it's the battle for 3rd and 4th. Brad Smith in the BSR 350Z will lead Joel Counter, the Cantabrian local hope.
Can Brad Smith in the BSR 350Z score a podium finish? 3rd place up for grabs. It would really top off a great weekend, especially for the D1 veteran. Of course, it's just his 2nd or 3rd year in the Pro Championship after being out of the game for so long. Brand new chassis, brand new car, brand new engine setup and everything. But then you got Joel Counter, a bright young guy from the Drift South Championship. He's won it twice. Achilles Radial S14 running that V8. He's keen for a podium too. He really wants to show his stuff at the top competitive level.
We check out the High-Tech Oils replay and we see a correction from Joel Counter. It's going to throw advantage to Brad Smith.
Yeah, a little bit skatey. You got to be a little bit careful not to wash out too wide there, coming up through the switch, leading up into the dipper. But it's lead car now for Joel Counter. He's got a chance in the lead. What can Brad Smith do in the chase?
Well, Brad Smith looking a lot smoother than the car in front. He holds early advantage after the first pass. Can he do it? Will he have enough to come through onto the podium?
Fantastic effort from Joel Counter, but it's just not enough. Brad Smith holds those points and he goes through 3rd place on the podium.
Well, it's the final of round 5 of the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship. It's the Autosure R34 Skyline of Kurt Whittaker versus the Evergreen Tyres S15 of Nico Reid.
Nothing like a V8 versus turbo final. Kurt Whittaker, former champion, up against the rising star, the young gun, hungry for a win. He's had 3 wins in a row. He wants to go 4 in a row. Can he do it? Well, Kurt Whittaker, perhaps a slight advantage first run.
Huge angle from both of those drivers as we see them come through into the dipper. This time it's Nico Reid who leads.
2nd pass now, Nico Reid and Kurt Whittaker. Who's it going to be? The Evergreen Tyres S15. Fantastic rear smoke shot over the rear wing as Nico Reid leads out Kurt Whittaker. Whittaker with a bit of a correction now. So this is that tipping scale we talk about. The points advantage is going to be levelled out here because Kurt had that slight advantage in the first run. So this is going to go OMT. The judges can't decide it. It's going to go to a rerun. Another 2 laps for these boys to show their stuff.
So Kurt Whittaker throwing down the smoke in the Autosure Insurance R34 Skyline. Nico Reid in the Evergreen Tyres machine trying to close the gap, gets right down. Huge angle getting stacked on by both of these drivers.
Yeah, fantastic shot there coming up through with plenty of angle. I love this track layout, Steve. It's just fantastic for spectators and the drivers as we come on through. Nico Reid hands out the window. You can see the pit wall. They know there is a fantastic final happening out on track. Last lap. What's going to happen?
As we ride on board with Nico Reid, he's gone to the start tree. He's been given the green light. We're going to find out who's going to be the champion here at round 5 of the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Nico Reid throws it into the right-hander. Contact.
Contact again. Kurt Whittaker. Dust storm. We see it time and time again. That first corner, it's going to be all down to this. Kurt Whittaker in the dirt. Nico Reid leading coming out in the Evergreen tyres, S15, yanks on the handbrake, kicks the clutch. It's victory for Nico Reid.
And it's 4 in a row, unprecedented victory for Nico Reid, the young Māori boy from South Auckland. Kurt Whitaker, although sitting there, grabs a whole lot of points going into the final round. Huge applause from Nico Reid's pit crew.
We'll take a look at the High-Tech Oils replay. Nothing but drama, and this was that first corner we keep talking about.
Yeah, you see the contact riding on board. Nico having to grab the wheel a couple of times, holds on to it, keeps his drift. Amazing work.
A big enough impact to knock his visor down too, but Nico Reid just unfazed. Another shot. Oh, maximum attack from Kurt Whitaker. The V8 though couldn't quite peg back that 2.5 litre turbo, and look at this, it's champagne showers for Nico Reid.
Definitely didn't think it was going to happen, but I was just driving hard all weekend and you know, just placed that car in front of me and I was chasing him down.
Cheers!
You know, the competition's so fierce out there, and it doesn't matter who you come up against at what stage of the battles, you know, you can easily get knocked out. So now we've really got to beat Nico by a number of places to win the championship, but, you know, anything can happen. Still a lot to go, and Pookie, big track, you know, separates the boys from the men, and hey, let's give this car a birthday and we'll be back there and charging hard.
Well, a huge victory burnout for Nico Reid in front of a bumper crowd at Mike Pero Motorsport Park for round 5 of the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship.
Fantastic stuff, some fantastic drifting on a brand new track layout, and Nico Reid goes to the top of the table with a little bit of a gap now to Kurt Whitaker. Daniel Templeman still in the mix, Dan Woolhouse and Dave Steedman.
Well, tune into our next show of the D1NZ D1NZ National Drifting Championship from Pukekohe Park Raceway. 200 km/h entries. It's action on and off the track.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest competition drift circuits in the world, and it was action aplenty. You'll see it all right here on D1NZ TV. And if you've missed the episodes, check out D1NZ.com.